So when I came to TARC, like a little over 12 years ago, this is where I thought I would be till I retired, or at the point of my life where I felt like, I wanted to retire. As we all say, we never know what our life holds. We never know what our future holds. TARC has been a part of my life for 12 years, and not only 12 years, back in the early 90s, my son received services through TARC with the early intervention. We attended the day hab building where he received OT therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy. It was just a great way where I can tell you that's where I learned more about his disability and what, as a parent, I needed to do. Who knew many years later that I would be here at TARC, running the agency, working with the fabulous team that I've worked with over the years to continue to advocate for families, to help these families know that we're here to help them. When I left as a CEO, I'd left it to Michael Latino, and I feel very strong in my heart that he is going to do great things here at TARC. He has it in his heart, he's passionate.
Well, my dream job is to be able to work with people. To me, with TARC, is making people aware of learning individuals with disabilities. You learn more than their disability. You learn what they can do, what their wants are. It may not always be said, but you can tell by their emotions and what they like. There's more that they can do than sometimes they just need that little push. And this staff does that. I knew when I took the position it was what I wanted to do. I've always liked the ambassador position. My daughter, Maddie, was the ambassador, I think probably her first year. I liked it then. It's a pride, and they know it's about them. And they get to carry that pride for the whole year, and even then some. Even once they're that ambassador, it means a lot to them. And so therefore, it means a lot to us.
My name is Scarlett Smith, and my daughter is Samantha Smith, and she will be the ambassador for this coming year. She's excited, she loves the spotlight, and that's one reason why we wanted to do this, is it gives her an opportunity to shine, whereas they seem to have so few opportunities for special needs children, and I knew she would love the opportunity just to be able to get the message of TARC out there and have her moment to have a voice. So I had a traditional pregnancy. We did not know anything was wrong. I went in for a scheduled section. Sammy was born. I saw her for a few minutes and they took her from me and they said, well, she needs to go to the NICU for a little while. That's normal. Don't worry. I said, okay. So a little while later, the nurse would come back and say, well, she's got this going on, and it was a kidney thing. And then she'd come back and say, well, she's got something wrong with her heart, and she's not really breathing like she's supposed to, and she's missing a rib. So every time it would be one more little thing that they would come and say, just wasn't quite right. Well, and they would say, well, those things sometimes are normal, and they would be if they were just isolated, but hindsight, looking back, you realize when all those things are present at birth, there's usually something more going on. But at the time, a new mom, I just didn't want to face that there could be anything wrong. So we left with a lot of follow-up visits for specialists, and we also left with an appointment to go see a geneticist to find out what could be wrong. Within a couple weeks, she actually fell ill with RSV, and we were out of town, so we spent a month on a ventilator at a hospital in Jackson. And during that time, I would hear kind of whispers of nurses asking, well, what does she have, or what's going on? And I would say, well, nothing, she's fine, she's perfect, there's nothing wrong, We had a lot of testing done there, not genetic testing, but it kind of got me to thinking, well, could there be something that I just don't know about going on? So she got well from that, and they dismissed us, and we came home. And in between that, I had my appointment to go see the geneticist. And one night, late at night, I decided I would get on the internet and I would type in all those little anomalies she had at birth. And so I went and typed those things in, and immediately pictures started showing up. And when I looked at those pictures and I saw my daughter, and I said, that's what she has. It was her image of her face to a T. And I began to read what this meant. Trisomy 13 is what she has, and it popped up. And I didn't need a geneticist at that point to tell me. I knew that's what it was, and it was the most frightening thing to read because issues were so severe, severe mental issues, severe health issues, and the majority of the children that you pulled up, there were memorial pictures. It wasn't many that were thriving and alive and doing well. I went late that night to my mom and I said, look, this is what she has, and we talked about it, and I had my moment of crying, and then it's kind of like what I've been doing for the past 12 years. You soldier up and you say, this is what it is, and we're gonna move forward, and we're gonna do what's best for her. And that's what we've been doing, and we've had a really amazing 12 years so far. They are the epitome of perfection, of the ability to love, to show emotion, to be actually the best part of humanity that there could be is wrapped up to me in a child with special needs. And I feel like there's such a group that is so overlooked. You know, we pay so much attention to everything else and everybody else's needs and what everybody else needs in society, and yet this group, to me, is the least recognized, the least paid attention to, and they're the ones that need it the most. They're the ones that can't speak for themselves or fight for themselves or be acknowledged. And my biggest fear always is knowing who will take care of her someday. And that's any parent, you know, so it's knowing people out there care enough that you're gonna help take care of my baby too. You know, or you're gonna help take care of somebody else's baby. That it means a lot to a parent. You know, organizations like TARC, as I've said before, it's an organization that will be with those kids forever. And it helps in so many different ways, whether it be helping to support the parent, but when the child is past parent support and they're ready to get out there and be adults, they're there to support them in that transition into adulthood too. And agencies like TARC, their goal is to get these kids out there so that they can be a part of society and they can feel like they're fitting in and contributing. And that's what they want. They want more than anything to be just like you and I, to be a part of things and to have those same experiences that everybody else gets to experience. And that's something that TARC allows and helps them to be able to do.
I'm glad to be ambassador of TARC.
If he sees somebody that needs help, he's always the first person to do that. If the staff needs help, or if, you know, one of the clients need help, RJ's always the one to go and ask them if they need help. He likes to participate in all the activities. If he misses out on something, he don't like that, do you? He likes to participate in everything. Oh, I love RJ. RJ and I have our jokes, don't we? We always cut up. He always comes and greets me. Anytime I walked over to the day hab or I saw him, you know, he always came up to me with a smile. If you don't ever see anybody smile, walk up to RJ, because you will get a smile from him every time. Because he just, you know, he loves life. So he has a big heart, and he looks forward to what he can do with TARC and his future. RJ lives with 2 other participants. They live in a home, and they share all of the accommodations, and they share all of the bills, and it makes it to where they can go out on the back patio and barbecue, sit out when there's beautiful weather, and RJ pretty much will lighten up anybody. If you're down or you feel like you're just having a bad day, just go sit down with RJ, because RJ will make you laugh.